Okay, so these are catalytic converters. This new one, this is for a used one. So this can call it catalytic converter, but it's more like exhaust manifold and catalytic converter at the same time. So was removed from EW10A. So if you have EW10A in Peugeot engine, you know that your exhaust manifold has a catalytic converter inside it. So you can see this is the heat shield on the old one. So eventually we'll swap this to this. So you can see this is permanently attached to the this part of the manifold that's attached on the cylinder head. So you can see this one is basically empty. There's nothing here, so somebody has removed. Oh, let me show you. You can see through it. This is where the upstream oxygen sensor is screwed in. So it's empty. So oxygen sensor is out, so you can see it's empty. So I advise the owner to get a new one. You can see the new catalytic converter comb inside. When you look from here too, you can see it. Okay, so I advise the owner to have it replaced. Also, I do know that EW10A engine, usually when you remove catalytic converter or inside the exhaust manifold, that comb inside the exhaust manifold, the engine idling speed becomes erratic. So I have to get a new one. So this is one of the ways you can get your catalytic. This is a Peugeot 307 with EW10A engine and AL4 automatic transmission. So to have remember this exhaust manifold, which you find here at the back of the engine. So you can't remove it without pulling the engine. The actual best way of doing it is to pull the front bumper, remove it, and so I can pull out the engine. However, what we'll be able to figure out, myself and my team, is to have to remove the radiator, pull it out. So remove the intake manifold and those components attached on it, and so we now remove the engine mount, both the lower and the upper, and including the gearbox mount as well. So now pull the engine towards this side. You can see the condenser is still attached with the compressor has to be removed from the seating and lowered a little bit. So because of that, I didn't lose the gas, but still, if you want, you can remove the bumper, remove all those things here, remove the AC condenser and the radiator. If you want to, if you are not sure you can do it this way, you have to remove everything out. Worst case scenario, you will refill the gas after everything. Now, the reason why I recommend doing it this way is you can see the windscreen. Look at the engine. Remember, this engine is usually somewhere here. So anything you are doing here, once if you mistakenly goes up like the beam, you lose this windscreen. You crack it. So it's better you pull everything out like this and spend a little bit, just small money to put back AC gas, or you carefully do it this way so that it doesn't damage anything. So as far as 307, was a 307 with 2.0 liter petrol engine, whether it's EW10J4 or EW10A. Anyway, it's actually, I would say EW10A because the manifold for EW10A is different. Exhaust manifold is different from EW10J4. So EW10J4, maybe, I can't say for sure. Maybe you could be able to remove the exhaust manifold without pulling the engine. But still, the best way of doing it is by pulling it out. Don't ever attempt to pull the engine like this. Instead, if you do it aside with the gearbox, you are likely going to lose your windscreen, may break, because as you are pulling it, once this engine hits, no matter how small it hits here, it's going to damage your windscreen. As simple as that. So how much does AC gas cost or freon cost? That will, I don't know. Imagine how much a windscreen will cost. Okay, so now you see this is the upstream oxygen sensor, which before this scanned and it showed it was working well. Now the downstream oxygen sensor is somewhere. There's another catalytic converter under that gear lever box under the vehicle. So the downstream oxygen sensor is mounted around there. Before now it was showing that it wasn't even reporting that the catalyst is absent, this one on the manifold. It was always pointing out on the downstream oxygen sensor fault. So I told the owner that the best thing to do would be to put the catalyst first before even replacing the downstream oxygen sensor. Because downstream oxygen sensor will not do those symptoms the car was doing at idle sometimes. So you need to sort one out first, rule it out, so that even if you continue, maybe you can now go to oxygen sensor and maybe look at the throttle body. You know, the most important thing is to get the injection system to stock, you know, everything to be stock, rather than doing. There are some modifications that are not good for, especially RFJ injection system. So there are some systems that can handle such modification, not this one. You have to be very careful. This system is more sensitive. That's why people hate this EW10A engine. It's not the engine, it's not the issue. It's the management of the engine. And the management of the engine does not control some modification or abuse. That's why once they start abusing their car, doing some modification, the engine becomes erratic. They condemn the engine, thinking the issue is with the engine. It's not the engine. Yeah, the engine has its ups and downs, but like I said, it's not the engine that is the issue. It's what manages the engine, so you have to be very careful. Okay, so back to the catalyst. Yeah, so we are going to mount it, and hopefully everything works well. But if it does, you know, depending on the result after mounting this new catalyst, if you now know whether to, you know, because right now what is on the vehicle is a EW10A throttle body. So if the idle speed still misbehaves, then probably may get the proper throttle body for the EW10A and mount there and see what happens. Likewise, if the downstream oxygen sensor still report what it does before now, what it was doing before now, and after mounting this, maybe you may look at changing the sensor. But no matter what you do, change the sensor, anything, as long as you still have this old exhaust manifold without the catalyst comb inside it, you are just wasting your time. Okay, so just wanted to educate people on EW10A. The new one is available, so guys, it may not be the OEM. Of course, it's not OEM, but at least it's good enough to serve the purpose. In worst case scenario, it won't last like the OEM. But one thing you should understand about catalyst, use this opportunity to learn this, irrespective of OEM or not OEM. If you are using bad fuel, it's going to block this upper part of the comb inside that catalyst cylinder. So it doesn't matter whether it's OEM or not. I always tell people, avoid using all this bad fuel as much as possible. Fuel will fill it up, will cover that place, all those bad fuel. And also, if you are the type that drives your car like snail, once, you know, almost all the time, It doesn't, even with the high quality of fuel, it still cover it. Your engine needs to be hot all the time to be able to burn off all these things and keep your catalytic converter porous as much as possible. You know, so if you are the type that abuse your engine cooling system and your engine cooling system is running cold most of the time, then you will have that catalyst issue all the time. Doesn't matter, like I said, no matter how original or high quality the catalytic converter is, your cooling system determines how long the catalyst will last. So if you abuse it and it runs colder longer than it should, it will be forming all those varnish or carbon. This thing will be settling on it, and it will block it. Whether you just mounted it today, you just give it time, it will do the same thing. Likewise, if you drive your car so slowly all the time, your RPM, you don't even want to burn fuel on your car. You just want to be driving it like a snail every day of the week. You stay below 2000 RPM. You only drive 5 kilometer distances every day with this engine. Bet you will always be having catalytic converter issue. So I hope this makes sense. Okay, so I don't think I may need to update after mounting this. You just see what happens. At least now you learn something from this video. Okay, till another video, guys.